What's going on, everybody? CFC DP back with another match review. Sorry, took a little bit of a break this weekend, had some family things. It's Labor Day in the United States, but I was able to watch Chelsea's woeful display against Dinamo Zagreb and match week 1 of the UEFA Champions League. It was horrible. Honestly, I am saying it's horrible, but the first half was not that bad, in my opinion. We gave up a goal. It was a counterattacking goal. We got kind of broken up. 2 center backs in there that haven't played with each other than one game. And we see that Chelsea had the ability and the wherewithal to play some really good attacking football. It was Aubameyang's first game. Him, Sterling, and Havertz were up front. It seemed like the interchange was actually working really well. There was a lot of space in the beginning of the game. Dinamo Zagreb was a little bit open, to be honest with you, and there were several times where Kai Havertz had some really good moments. Aubameyang should have had a couple of good moments. He didn't shoot, a little rusty. Sterling had a couple of good moments as well. And then the wheels fell off after the goal happened. Once the goal happened, it exposed every issue that Chelsea have as a club. Every issue. 1. It's time we drop the whole midfielders thing. We don't have the players for it, what we want to do. We don't. And it's a big issue. Kovacic and Mount as a pivot was not the answer at all. There was such a lack of progression. And I'm sure Thomas Tuchel thought this. He thought, if we put Mount in the midfield in the pivot, we give him that more advanced role, sort of like how Gallagher was kind of working in the last couple of games. He should be a good linking option. He'll link to Kai, and Kai will link to Sterling and Aubameyang, and we should get some chances. And it was sort of working out like that in the beginning. There was some nice link-up play, but then it just stopped. Once Zagreb put 11 guys behind the ball, Chelsea couldn't do it. They couldn't break them down. It was like almost 70 minutes of Chelsea trying to break down a team, which they were never going to do, ever. We play in possession because we think we're the dominant team. Let's do possession. We can move around, find passes, score goals. Chelsea can't do that. They don't have the creators. They don't have KDB. They don't have Bernardo Silva. They don't have the players that are able to create out of nothing. Which, when you're going against a team that's that's worse than you, and they've already scored against you, you have to do that. You have to create chances out of nothing. Because if that's not going to happen, you're screwed. Tuchel's playing balls. They're playing balls into the box like they have Giroud. Giroud hasn't been here for a couple of years now. So what are we doing? Figure out how to be creative. Make some creative passes. Take some damn chances. Chelsea's the most boring offensive team in the entire, European top 5 because they don't take chances. Play some balls over the top if you have to. What's everyone so hesitant for? Sterling's making runs. Aubameyang's making runs. Havertz is making runs. Brojo is making runs. And it just, you don't put the ball over the top. Well, you clearly have been able to break them down in a low block, so why aren't you trying to beat them over the top? What do you have to lose? Oh, you're afraid we're not going to have to watch 65 minutes of you putting crosses into the box for nobody that's there, for nobody's that making their near post run, for nobody that's able to get up and head it on net? Wake the hell up. There's games where we look good, we look creative. Most of those goals come in counter-attacking, fast break opportunities. But, man, you have to have some answer if a team is going to play against a low block. You have to. And Tuchel doesn't have an answer. He doesn't know what's going on. And he comes from that Klopp, Hasenhüttl philosophy. The chances come from pressing. Pressing is the best chance creator. But if you're controlling the ball for 75-80% of the game, that doesn't give you a lot of opportunity to press. Does it? It doesn't. So you don't have an answer for beating a team against a low block because your system relies upon good pressing. Okay, you want good pressers. Then give them the ball and just back up and make them attack you. But you can't because a team won't do that if you give up the first goal. Especially if they're a lower opposition. If you're playing against Real Madrid where they're going to keep coming at you, fine. That's why Chelsea do really good in tournament football, because when they played Man City, when they played Real Madrid and whatnot, or it worked out well when they scored the first goals in a couple of knockout games. Teams were coming at them and Chelsea could counter them, and that's what they're good at. But in a possession-style system, we do not succeed. Simply because of the fact that the people don't have time to press. There isn't enough pressing minutes in the clock to create the chances that Tuchel's team needs to score goals. So you look and see how the recruitment is, and you say, well, Tuchel wants to be really good against Real Madrid, but you're not going to get to Real Madrid if you can't beat Zagreb. And part of the reason is because you don't have against the low block system, because you don't have creativity. You need to have creative players. You have to. It's imperative for this team to be successful. And they haven't recruited them in the past. Now I'm going to give Boley a pass because he hasn't been in here, and this is the team that he's inherited as owner. But if you don't get creative players in the midfield, somebody that can drop back and make passes happen against a low block and be risky and willing to take an advantage when they see one, you're going to be in some serious, serious trouble. So now we're here, right? Chelsea want to get Edson Alvarez and Declan Rice, but where is the creative options? Who are these players? Is it Chukwuemeka? I don't know. Is it Hutchinson? I don't know. Is it Vale? I don't know. You need somebody. You need Kevin De Bruyne. Let's be honest. You need KDB. He's going to be the guy that's going to do it for you, but he's not available. How do you find the next KDB? I think they may have found him in that Arshin guy from Dinamo Moscow, which I think the deal will get over the line in January once they figure out how to pay for him. But you need somebody in there that's not afraid to make those passes. And we thought that was Kai Havertz. But apparently, it's not Kai Havertz. It isn't. At least not a kind of consistent basis, because he needs to be able to play progressive passes. He gets the ball and his back is to goal. He needs to be facing the goal. He gets the ball to his back. What's he going to do? Of course he's going to pass it to the person right next to him, because he doesn't have enough time to turn around and get it. So how do you get Kai Havertz facing the goal with options? Right now, that's your only chance. Or how does Mason Mount figure out how to make passes? How do you get your most dynamic playmakers in the middle of the pitch looking and seeing who's available? Because right now, getting the ball on the outside, crossing it in doesn't work. It might work in a fast break situation where defense is recovering and there may not be so many guys behind the ball. But if you do have to go against a low block, you have to play through the middle. You have to try and find switches and play like that. There's so many times where Mason Mount had opportunities to play guys in behind, and he just wasn't looking. He doesn't have the wherewithal to make those passes. So who is it going to be? I don't know. And is Tuchel going to say, we need to change this and put these players in the situations to be good? It's a little bit of both. Players need to play better, and Tuchel needs to figure it out, because right now he's trying to smash a square peg into a round hole, and it will not work. It will not work. So it's up to you, Tuchel. What are you going to do to try and fix this? And you have Fulham, you have RB Salzburg, who just took AC Milan to the brink, 1-1. They're at the top of the Austrian Bundesliga. Fulham has been pretty good this year. And then it gets harder and harder. You got Liverpool. You got a bunch of hard games coming up. So you better figure this out soon, or we're going to be in trouble and you're going to be in trouble. I'm not Tuchel out. I'm not. But if he doesn't show us that he can be a flexible manager and understand if your X's and O's aren't working, you have to switch it. Don't try to force it. We have a problem. Because right now, the players that we have don't allow him to do what he wants to do, apparently. So you're not just going to sit here and take losses. You're in a results-driven business. You have to win. You have to win. And if Tuchel doesn't, I think the writing will be on the wall. I want to thank you so much for coming and listening to my match review. Please go ahead, like, comment, subscribe to the video. Going to have some more content coming out with you this week. Like I said, long weekend. Took a little bit of time off. But we will be back with another match preview coming up against Fulham for this weekend. We'll talk to you then. Thank you very much.